Hi, I'm so glad to see you. Oh my gosh. This is very exciting. Thank you so much for being willing to meet with me today and to record our conversation. I appreciate you.
I so appreciate you too, Catherine. I'm so delighted and excited to be here and be able to share whatever I have. I'm just excited to be able to do that.
Well, and share you have your book is now an international bestseller. That is
Yay!
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you want to, besides, being a coach and an author and just an amazing woman, how you have shown up everywhere I look that you are on social media with being interviewed. It's just a beautiful, brilliant light. Your energy is just this beautiful light of love out in the world.
Mm.
And I've only just ordered your book. I haven't read it yet, and I'm so excited. But just getting feedback from other people on some of the accolades, like, oh my gosh,
No,
crazy.
it just feels so humbling when people say, "I just can't put this down." And I did a podcast the other day, and she'd lost her partner of 15 years, just shot in the head as he was gardening from a mentally ill being. And she's like, if I had had this book 10 years ago, my life would have been so different. I couldn't put the book down. So she was so full of thank yous, and it's going to help so many people. And I'm just really excited for the book to be out into the universe.
Now your title, um, that just how did you come up with it?
So the title is Shattered Together, and it's a mother's journey from grief to belief. And Shattered Together was channeled just like the cover of the book and the subtitle and a lot of what is in the book. For the listener, my son took his life 10 years ago, and he took it when he was mad at me, and he actually wrote a note saying he didn't want me at his service. So Shattered Together has multiple meanings for me. It truly shattered me, like completely broke me, and even to the point where I just wanted to die as well. And then I get this clear message as I'm laying on his grave, and just like, if this happened in your life, you're meant to do something with it, so do something. And so I started to put the pieces together in a different way, because what my son's suicide did was help me delve into my own healing journey 1 hour at a time, because that's what it takes, is 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
And it also helped me, well, what it did is it cracked the walls that I had so closely secured around my heart from all the other early childhood traumas that I had. It just cracked those open as well. So the journey has not only helped me move through Logan's suicide, but it also helped me move through early sexual trauma, childhood abuse, all kinds of things. So Shattered Together has helped me find my light, helped
Yeah.
me live my purpose. It is, I'm truly connected energetically with my son and the divine now. So it's really together, like I'm never alone. I'm really
Yeah.
connected. So I live a joyous, purposeful, connected life. And that's where the title comes from.
That is
Many
so
meanings.
beautiful. So beautiful. And isn't that true for so many of us women that we have, all these little traumas and then they sort of, um, something happens and we're shattered,
Yeah.
and and some women stay shattered and some people put the pieces back together better than others. And I think, um, and your book sounds like such a testimony to that, that sometimes we can use it to not only put all the pieces back together,
Mm.
but even in it and come out of it even better than we had been before,
Yeah.
which is, amazing, right? And
Yeah.
one of the tools that you use is this RIM method. And uh, I'd love to know and share with others more about it. Like, how did it get started? Um, and just let us know more about it.
I definitely want to share regenerating images and memory. So it's RIM as an acronym, but I just want to go back to the title, to the cover of the book for 1 second. And
Yeah.
on the cover of the book, there's a heart that has a jagged line through the middle of it, like it's broken right in two. That jagged line is really the side profile of my son's face. So
Ah,
Logan's face is within that heart. So the the cover has multiple layers to it, which brings us to RIM, but the multiple layers within the cover just represents the many layers of life, the many layers of our journey, whether it's healing or living in the pain. It's many, many layers of what we live. And so as you pick up the book and look at the cover, you're going to see something very different than someone else sees. And it's a beautiful cover that was channeled one morning when I just like, I really need help on the cover, and there it was. I knew what it was. So
mm,
which brings us to RIM. So I attended a Jack Canfield event, and it was a personal development event where I was actually, for the first time in 7 years, that I was actually going to speak the truth about a note that my son had written. I had not spoken that in public. Only very few people knew about it. I actually didn't even know about it until a month after my son's suicide, and I found out through a medium that there was another piece of the puzzle that I didn't know about, and that I needed to get the records so where I could have the truth. And again, another shattered piece of me. But so regenerating images of memory helped me. It's a healing modality that helped me go into my body and reprogram what the stories I'd told myself and the shame that I was holding. So there's emotional blocks, there's limiting beliefs in the head, there's emotional blocks in my body, and the trauma stored in my soul. It helped go within my body to redo events, to create new awarenesses around the story events that we've experienced, to recreate that in a way that helps us dissolve those memories and create new memories that are more positive, more empowering process. And I needed to do that when I got up. I had to introduce myself to about 120 people, and it's a 90-second introduction. Why am I there? Who am I there to help? And what got me there? And how am I going to use the Canfield methodology to assist other people? And I knew it had to be part of my introduction, but I literally fell apart before I introduced myself. I was like, I can't do this. I'm so full of shame and self-blame that my son took his life. I was a legislator. I was a government official. I was a lobbyist. I'd owned and operated businesses. I was a successful woman. And yet I couldn't save my son. And so there was a lot of guilt and self-blame and shame that was truly stuck in my body. And Dr. Deborah Sandella is the founder of RIM, and she was there. And I went and did a session with her for a couple of hours. And by the time I was done with the session, I was able to get up on that stage and speak my truth. And what I was fearful of, which was judgment, because I was judging myself, what I was fearful of never happened. There was just more compassion and love for me to be able to get up on that stage and speak that truth. And that's what RIM does for us. I've gone through many, many, many sessions, and I'm sure there's many to come. Um,
right. The
uh,
healing journey is a journey.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It is a journey. And I think if there's anything I can say to you is that please look at your healing journey as a journey, not as a one and done. It is just like life. Life brings many, many experiences to us. It's like you're on the ocean and there's waves. Sometimes the waves are calm and other times they're rocky and other times they're deadly. They feel deadly, at least. That's what life is. And if we're willing to face our pain 1 hour at a time and step into that fearful moment of the unknown and let the emotions flow through us, then we free ourselves. And that's really what RIM has done for me.
I love that. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different kinds of meditations out there, transcendental and guided and all, all kinds of different kinds. What from your takeaway makes this so uniquely special and potentially healing for people who participate in it?
So it is not a meditation. It is actually a healing modality. And you can use bits and pieces of it for your own meditation purposes, which I'll be recording a meditation for you. And what's different about this is it's client led. You have full control, and I'm a master RIM facilitator. So there's a reason why we're called facilitators, because we help guide you and you have total control. So you go into your body, you're able to go back to the first memory, you use your imagination to help reprogram an old program that you've lived as truth, when in fact there's more information that could create a different truth for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so beautiful. Um, how long do sessions usually take?
Sessions can go up to 90 minutes, usually. 60 to 90 minutes are the average sessions for facilitators. 60 minutes is probably something that you could count on. A group RIM facilitation is a little less than that, probably 40 minutes. And then there's time to do some additional processing thereafter.
I love that. And so for people who are high anxiety, and sometimes our fear is, okay, if I think about that, um, I'm opening up Pandora's box. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to have a panic attack in front of everybody. If I fall off the Crazyville cliff, that's it. I'm hanging on by a thread now. if I,
Yeah.
you know, if I relive that, I'm going to, go nuts. Has anybody ever lost their mind and never recovered again after doing this?
Absolutely not. What's been beautiful is that their anxiety lessened or dissipated completely. Sadness or deeper depression has gone away, because what happens with our body is the more we deny what we're feeling, the more control it has over us. So if there's something within our body that we have chosen to push down, to mask, to avoid, that's the overdoing, whether it's over substance use or working or exercise or whatever it is, avoiding your feelings only comes out in your body in one form or another. It causes disease, like there's different things it comes out in one form or another. It could come out in anger, it can come out in other things. So when you're pushing it down, it has control over you. It controls your life. And it sometimes comes out in anxiety. So when you are able to be guided with resources around you, that you don't go in alone, you come up with your resource, you have an ability to be able to walk through the emotions that you never thought you could walk through. Jack Canfield says this often, and I love it, because he's like, no one's ever died by feeling their emotions. Like, you don't get stuck in that downward spiral if you allow yourself to feel through it. You can get stuck in a downward spiral if you just looking too far out into the future based on what you've known. That's what happens, is you're creating a story around something you don't even know about yet.
Right.
So
That is beautiful. Is it possible to try a little bit, and so we can um, just try a little right now? Is that possible?
I would rather do it in a group room, only because I don't want people trying this at home by themselves
Right.
without having some knowledge about it
I
first.
love
And
that. I love that.
yeah,
I totally get that. And so
yeah.
when people go through this process with you, and so one of the things that we'll offer when we meet with our group of ladies, we'll go through this process, and then which will be separate from a meditation. And the meditation is something that can be found on the Stop Trafficking Us Survivor resource page, and that will be meditation only. And then if they want to experience going through this themselves, they can reach out to you. And of course, we'll put your information so they can be able to contact you, because you can do this virtual, right? You can do this just like we're doing now on a Zoom.
Absolutely. Actually, most of my sessions are virtual. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then, so you've been so generous in offering this process for some survivors that we'll deal with in November. So excited to be able to have these ladies together and have them experience this process. And when they do, and like you said, it's not one and done. Um, but as soon as you do this the first time, you're able to reproduce some of this yourself, which is so cool. Sometimes when you learn different healing modalities, it's something that you have to keep making an appointment for,
Right.
or like right away, you have to like make the second. And this is after the very first time, and certainly after more, but after the very first time, you can start incorporating some of this in your own meditations personally.
Yeah, yeah, you can. And what's beautiful is like you have such an awareness, even when in a group process, there's such an awareness. And Catherine, you did this, and you're welcome to share some of your experience or not, but there's an awareness of, wow, I didn't, if I had done that on my own, I wouldn't have realized what I realized, and it creates a new awareness for you, for me. And I mean, you're welcome to share, or
It,
I can
it, it,
share an experience.
it, it did for me when I did it in the group. I was so surprised that I had emotion come up for me. I was having a great day. and, and we go through this process, and I thought, oh, this is just going to be this fun little thing. And instead it was profoundly powerful. And I really got in touch with some stuff inside me that I otherwise, if we hadn't done that process, I wouldn't have known that that boo-boo was there to be
Right.
healed. And I love the opportunity to heal whatever needs to be healed, because every little tiny thing, it's not just big things. We don't trip over mountains, we trip over pebbles. So all these little things that no matter how much work we've done, there's always a little something that pops up. And this offered this beautiful, safe space with other like-minded people. And that was sort of a cool thing. I know that Pia Melody, um, um, very famous author, very famous healer, ran the Meadows facility in Wickenburg, Arizona for many years. She said, group in groups, and it doesn't have to be group side by side, it can be a virtual group, but there is a special energy that comes when you're doing a group. It's just like this safe space, and the vibration of everybody just sort of raises each person up to the next highest level of being and the next highest level of healing. That was just beautiful. So not only are you being healed, if you're the one having something come up, not only are you being healed in that safe space, but the people who are witnessing it are also being healed at some level as well.
I love that you said that, because I actually am starting, like this week, I have twice a week, I'm doing sacred healing circles virtual for up to 90 minutes, depending on how many people show up. And I just know that the people who are meant to be in each of those circles will be in each of those circles. And there's only going to be 20 people, so it's not going to be like, hundreds
Right.
at this point. And we're going to do, I'll channel and I'll do some energy healing. And at the end, I'll pull an oracle card for additional guidance for the week for the group. And I'm really excited about that, because it's just, I'm going to go with what I'm guided to do. And whether it's a guided RIM session, or if it's just channeling energy and messages, it will happen the way it happens. So.
I
Yeah.
love that. Is there a way that I'll be able to take that invite and put it out on my social media?
Absolutely.
Oh, yay.
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
I've got some gals who would love to participate.
It's great. And
We
it's
all
reasonably,
need some healing.
it's reasonably priced too. So, I mean, the individual are higher priced, but with a group, it's easier to be able to make it work for a lesser cost. And that's my goal, is to
Right.
touch as many people as possible to move
I
through their
love
healing process. Yeah.
exactly. I love that. Is it typical what would be an ideal client for you?
Anyone that's been through any kind of trauma,
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
um,
everybody should learn the process, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and just go through it. Who
And
doesn't
even
want to be
stress,
happier?
you know,
Part
but even stress. So I talk to people about the Shattered Together, and my services are anybody who's experienced sudden and unexpected loss, period, or loss in general. There's just like, this can prevent additional pain, and it can be responsive to the traumas that you've already had.
right.
So it's just, it helps change patterns. So RIM is one of the modalities that I use that assist us in changing the programs that have been there, that's become habits to respond to life in the way that we've known, not the way we want. A lot of people, and this, Catherine, a lot of people can't understand why victims continue to pick the same kind of people um, that they've had in their lives. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. And in fact, the reason for that, there are programs in your body that it's your subconscious. It's not your conscious. Your conscious wants something different. Your
Right.
subconscious overrides your conscious. And so you continue to pick what you know, not what you want,
Right.
because it's that comfort and that discomfort. So what RIM helps you do is to go in and reprogram that subconscious.
So cool. So if people want to buy your book, it's on Amazon. And we encourage you to do so and buy it for friends. Christmas is coming up and make a really great gift for people who are dealing with issues that they could use some inspiration and some concrete takeaways. They're going to get it. And then what is your website? How can people learn more about you and to schedule appointments with you besides in addition to your groups? So individual sessions, groups, how do they reach you?
CathleenElle.com. So it's CathleenElle.com. That's my website, and all my social media, with the exception of Twitter. So I have Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's all Kathleen Elle Inspires. And then Twitter is just Kathleen Elle. So it's all
Wonderful.
inclusive, and you can actually go on my website and purchase the book as well.
Oh, cool.
You can do it, click the link for Amazon, or you can click the link to have a signed autographed copy from me.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I would have done that one. Well, thank you so much for your time. How you show up on the planet again, just to right back where we started from, is just this light. I'm so, and those of us who around you are just drawn to you. You are just this safe, loving energy, this beacon of love and light. And I love getting, it's such a treat to get to meet people like you. And I'm so excited to do more work with you and just be the bridge that takes your work to the people who are really going to have their lives changed. That's exciting. That's so exciting for me, is to take a methodology and connect it with people who need it, and just help their growth, be a part of their growth. Just love that. And thank you
Well,
for being so willing.
one light attracts another light, my dear. So thank you so much. I'm so excited that we met in that synchronistic group, because now I
Yeah,
feel like
right.
I have a friend for life.
Yes, you do. I felt the same way. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to put this on my social media, and I can't wait to see what happens, because great things are coming your way. It's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you again. Take care.
Bye.